こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。今回の教材は、ブライトンの三笘薫に関する動画です。ザック・ジェルブのチャンネルでは、ビッグ6にニューカッスルを含めた7チームについて、2億ポンドで補強するなら誰を補強するのか、という話をしています。アーセナルのパートでは、三笘薫を挙げていますが、3人ともに全面的に前向きであり、他のプレイヤーも挙げつつ、三笘は決まりだね、といった感じで話しています。もう移籍路線が決定的のような雰囲気もありますが、アーセナルやリバプールやマンチェスターシティに行ってほしいとは個人的にも感じていますので、彼らがどのように話しているのか、チェックしてみましょ
う。Ben, next club, who would you like to go with?
Let's go the other side, North London. Let's go Arsenal. Let's go to Woolwich.
Okay, then. Obviously, Arsenal's issues been mentioned up front. I think midfield and left wing are also possibly places. Where did you go, Henry? You can do your suggestions first. Blast through them.
Well, for starters, I do think they should buy Šeško. I know it's boring. We'll get this debate out of the way first. The whole Gyökeres, who on a podcast with Leo Østigård, his teammate at international level, Østigård was like, let me know if the Arsenal stuff
that was bizarre,
going. So I wasn't sure if that was...
What did he say?
He was basically like, text me if the Arsenal stuff all goes through. And he was like, yeah, sure. But
there was also another thing where like someone on an Arsenal podcast said that their mate ran into Andrea Berta and he basically said that Gyökeres is coming, apparently. So
well, isn't it that like Arteta wants Šeško and Berta wants Gyökeres?
I think Berta is a bit like, you know what we were saying with Paratici at the start, where he like lines up a lot of deals and then I think that's how he operated at Atletico by the sounds of it, like lined up a lot of different players in different positions ready to go and then they pulled the trigger.
Wait for manager sign off.
Yeah.
Well, listen, if whoever they get, it's an exciting signing. I am leaning towards Šeško. I think I just prefer him as a striker, as an all-round package, and I've never not enjoyed watching him. He can score some absolute screamers. I think if he'd only just scored that one-on-one against Portugal in the Euros, Slovenia would have. Do you remember? He was. It was an amazing save from the keeper. So anyway, that's I want Šeško for Arsenal, and then my other more exciting one for the left wing. We've already discussed Brighton. I'm going with Mitoma.
Do you know what? I really like that shout.
I said Mitoma as well.
Yeah, actually.
I put Mitoma down.
Yeah.
I feel like he's been massively. Sorry, go on. I think he's been massively overlooked in this conversation about wingers.
Yeah, he's. Listen, if you
a little bit older,
if you can, well, look, that's fine.
Yeah,
Arsenal now need to win a trophy, and he's 28 years old. He's in the prime of his career. 10 goals, 4 assists, some beautiful goals. He's a different profile of striker to left winger to Martinelli, which I think is important. He's a much more delicate kind of player, intricate. I think he could probably do a job through the middle if push comes to shove. There's no wonder that Bayern Munich are looking at him as an alternative. Yeah. Who did they miss out on?
They were going to go for Gittins. It sounded like they were going to go for Gittins.
Something like that. Yeah. So there's no wonder I think Bayern are looking at him. Mitoma, huge name in Japan. Always helps as a kind of signing as well.
They've got his teammate, don't they?
I think Mitoma would be. He deserves a move away from Brighton. I don't think Brighton are going to charge silly money for him. I reckon for like 50, 55 million pounds, you could get Mitoma.
Yeah. You've both got him, right?
So I put Mitoma as well on the left wing.
Get him in.
Yeah.
Happy. I completely agree with everything Henry said there.
And then I have gone for a centre-back who...
Centre-back?
Another one.
Well, this is the thing. Essentially, Gabriel and Saliba, and then it was Kivior for a lot of last year as well.
But they do have Calafiori who gets injured. Ben White
Timber
plays there. Timber.
Well, Timber's more of a...
He's a fullback. He's a fullback. But it's Ben White or Timber, I guess, could do that.
The way I see it is Ben White and Timber who are the right back options, and then it's Calafiori /
Lewis Skelly.
Lewis Skelly as the left back options.
But isn't this why Arteta bought all of those players so they could cover off different positions? It feels like they bought fullback profiles that could also cover at centre half. That's what it felt like.
Well, who was your suggestion?
I'm probably going to get absolutely hammered for this, but he had a horrific Champions League final because he came off at 8 minutes and went off injured. But it was the big Jan Bissek at centre half.
For apparently 40 million.
He has had a good year this year.
He's had a really good year against Arsenal in the competition proper. He was excellent.
Yeah, he was actually.
He was at Aarhus in Denmark before. He's had a bit of a weird career, but he's really come of age. He's a man mountain. This is the thing. I don't think he has to start. Start for Arsenal. He can and on the ball, he's surprisingly effective.
Okay,
he can drive forward and he can pass. So those are the first two players I'm going to put forward. I'm going to say like 40 million for Jan Bissek from Inter, who probably will sell. And then, we've Matoma, who sounds like he's...
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we've got to be interesting here. So I'm not against any of Henry's stuff here. What I'm going to do, though, is give you maybe alternatives for some of them. Matoma's, there's no alternative. I agree.
Yeah.
Matoma has to be done. I think you get him for around 50, 55.
Especially like this is the year that Arsenal have got to win. So it's like I think people
Age
look at
isn't
27,
too big
28-year-olds and they get scared. It's
Agreed.
like he's in his prime. Like,
Agreed.
Go and do it.
My other suggestion to a striker is Ollie Watkins. Like, Sesko is going to cost you 70 million plus by the looks of it. He's an expensive boy. I think you get Ollie Watkins this summer for 40 to 50, realistically. We know about Aston Villa's kind of issues PSR-wise. We know they have thought previously, or there was the talks that before John Duran left, they were actually asking Arsenal if they'd be interested in bringing in Watkins in January. I think Watkins' end last season with Villa was very interesting with how he was kind of mentioning he didn't get to play in the big games in the Champions League, so on and so forth. I think he would love a move to Arsenal. He would also complement, I think, Kai Havertz because he's a different kind of striker to him. So is Sesko, to be fair. And it's not that I don't like the Sesko move at all. I just think there's maybe a cheaper alternative there if you want to save money. I also think midfield, Zubimendi deal, we don't know what's going to happen there. They are definitely looking at more of a DM. I still think that actually Declan Rice should be that DM and go for more of a central midfielder. I thought, again, I think Arsenal should keep an eye on we mentioned him previously a couple of months ago for Spurs, but I think Arsenal should keep an eye on the De Jong deal. At Barca. Like, we don't know what's happening there. If he doesn't sign this new deal soon, then Barca are going to want to sell him. That's what Laporta said many a times. Players going into their final year will be sold in the summer before. And so I think they should keep an eye on him. I also wonder, United have their financial issues. It's been mentioned before. I think Kobe Mainoo in this Arsenal team could be really, really fun. Really fun. I wouldn't suggest it with Pat here, that's for sure. But I think it's something that could be he has different opinions about Mainoo, but I think that could be a really fun choice to add to that Arsenal midfield.
Pat also thinks Scott McTominay is the biggest.
Exactly.
Where's the space going? So
go on, Napoli.
But yeah, so those would be my suggestions there. A cheaper alternative to striker. I agree with Matoma, and I'd be going with a Frankie de Jong, possibly Kobe Mainoo.
There's another centre midfielder I can see there on your list that I really like the idea of.
Which one? The
top one.
Okay. I just think it's maybe... I've put him down. I put down Yuri Tielemans. I put down Yuri Tielemans because I think obviously a fantastic year this year. Really stepped up for that Villa side.
No, but they don't need it. They don't need him.
Arsenal.
They need a defensive midfielder.
But this is why I think you play Declan Rice there. I think Rice is your DM.
But he's not, though. It's been proven this year that he's not.
Yeah, but I still think he is a better DM. I think he's a better DM than...
Factually proven that he's better as a number 8 bombing back and forwards.
I agree with that.
There is no planet where you make Declan Rice your sole central midfielder. I'm not like CDM. Like, it hasn't worked particularly for England. He is best when he's marauding forward. He's one of the hardest workers. You've seen what he can do at the other end of the pitch. Like, I'm sorry, Zach. He is 1,000,000% not. Like, I think he's an amazing midfielder.
But he's not just sitting in front of the defence, like in the DM position, is he? Like, he still goes forward.
He's not. Lewis Skelly's coming from left back to do a lot of that as well.
He's not a pure CDM.
I personally think he could... Yeah, exactly. And I think he could still do that at DM. But
it's not a case of just being able to do it. It's a case of getting a specialist in.
But it's quite clear from what I would agree, but also at the same time from what it sounds like Arsenal are looking for. It doesn't sound like they are looking for that, because Zubimendi's not that. Zubimendi is like for me, Zubimendi, whenever I watched him, is kind of a get it, give it, volume kind of passer. He's not necessarily, like, he can break up play, but he's not got the frame of like a proper defensive midfielder. He's not like, I don't think he's as athletic as maybe some of the other players like Gravenberch or maybe Caicedo, someone like that. I don't think he to me is more of a tidy, get it, give it, break up play rather than an out and out defensive midfielder. And I actually think, I think they'll get Zubimendi, to be honest. I think that deal will go through. But I really like the idea of Tielemans, because I think you've seen it time and time again with Villa. I think he's the perfect sort of player. Again, he's not he's not that DM kind of profile either, really. But for what Arsenal sound like they're looking for, I think that bit of Premier League experience, he's so good at breaking through that kind of first line of a press to then give it to a Rice. If you had like Tielemans and like if Arsenal do what they kind of have done in the past and play Timber, right back, Saliba, Gabriel, tuck them three into a back three, Lewis Skelly comes into here, you've got Skelly and Tielemans, Rice, Odegaard, and then your front three. I like Tielemans as a shout. I think it will be Zubimendi.
I don't see Villa selling him. That was like I put him there to maybe suggest, but
then again,
He was their player of the year last year. I think Villa have a lot of players they're willing to sell. I do not believe
it's a lot of profit that they got for someone on a free.
It would be a lot of profit, very, very true. And maybe PSR wise, that does.
And are they going to sell Rodgers? I doubt it. Like, I don't know. I think it will be Zubimendi, but I like Tielemans.
Who are you picking then?
Which is the striker when you can go
Matoma.
for? Watkins or Sesko?
How much did we say for Matoma? Like 50 mil?
I think 50 mil, 50 to 60, 55.
I think so. 50 gone on Matoma. I would probably, because I think half of Arsenal's issues up front aren't necessarily about the striker. I think getting the winger is actually equally as important. I think you're signing someone with that proven quality. I don't mind them taking the gamble on spending a bit more on Sesko as a younger option. Because I think if you can, Sesko's still raw obviously, but if you supplement it with chances continually, which I think you're going to do with Saka with those crosses, Matoma with that ability to beat a man, get to the byline, cut it back, I think he'll score a decent amount of goals. And so that's 60 plus 50, 110.
I think it might be a little bit more than 60. I think.
Okay, say 100. Say we've got 80 million left. I think it will be Zubimendi, but I also quite like Tielemans as a shout. And if you say 40, 50
maybe. I think really, if they can get De Jong, you prioritise De Jong.
De Jong is, I think, staying. He's staying in Barcelona.
He wants to stay, doesn't he? But it's just whether this contract happens. I agree. I think he'll end up staying now. But you want to go Yuri? Fuck it. Why not? Fuck it, yeah. Yuri Tielemans. Welcome to Arsenal. Sesko and of course
Villa fans are not
Mitoma.
gonna be happy about that.
No, not at all.
次は解説です。比較的聞きやすいブリティッシュ・イングリッシュだったと思います。ボキャブラリーは以前も解説したことあるものも多く使われていましたが、それ以外にはあまり目新しいものはほとんどなかったため、少し簡単なボキャブラリーもありますが、本日の解説をチェックしてみましょ
う。Blast through them.
ブラストするは、英語ネイティブが日常的に使うカジュアルな表現で、何かを勢いよくやり終えるといったニュアンスを持っています。例えば、宿題を一気に終わらせる、レポートを短時間で仕上げる、といった場面でよく使われます。語感には、スピード感、力強さ、集中力が含まれており、単なる終わらせるとは違って、短時間で集中して労力をかけてやりきるというイメージです。トイックなどの試験では見かけにくい口語的な表現ですが、海外ドラマや日常英会話、ビジネスのカジュアルなやり取りでも登場します。
Blast through them. Blast through them.
If push comes to shove.
プッシュカムズトゥーシャブは、カジュアルな会話や映画、ドラマでよく使われるイディオムです。意味は、いざという時、切羽詰まったら、といったもので、何かを決断したり、実行に移さなければならない状況を表します。例えば、普段は計画を立てていても、状況が悪化したり本当に行動が必要になった時に、やむを得なければこうするよ、と柔らかく伝えることができます。フォーマルな文脈ではあまり見られませんが、ネイティブの自然な会話では非常に品質の表現です。覚えておくと、説得力のある会話ができるようになります。
If push comes to shove, if push comes to shove, I'm probably going to get absolutely hammered for this, but
ハンマーは、金槌という名詞が基本ですが、動詞になると意味の幅がぐっと広がります。何かを叩く、打ちつけるという基本動作から派生して、相手を攻撃する、厳しく批判する、圧倒するといった比喩的な使い方が多く見られます。特に会話の中では、ボロ負けしたというような場合や、ファンが監督を批判したという場合のように、感情的、攻撃的なニュアンスを持って使われることが多いです。英語ネイティブの自然な表現を理解するには、こうした物理から比喩への転換を意識することが重要です。
I'm probably going to get absolutely hammered for this, but he's a man mountain.
マンマウンテンは、英語のユーモラスで視覚的な比喩表現です。人の体格を山に例えることで、その大きさや威圧感を強調し、スポーツ中継や映画、または日常の冗談交じりの会話でよく使われます。基本的には体が大きく、力強い男性に対して使われますが、時には親しみを込めて使われることもあります。学習者としては、マウンテンを比喩として使う感覚に注目し、他にも、山のような仕事、 という意味で、A Mountain of Work というような表現と合わせて覚えると理解が深まります。
He's a man mountain. He's a man mountain.
The Champions League, so on and so forth.
So on and so forth は、会話やスピーチの中で、続きがあるけど全部言う必要はない時に使う便利な決まり文句です。例えば、フルーツ、野菜、などなどという風に、リストの終わりに入れてリズムよく話をまとめる時によく使われます。ややフォーマルに見える言い回しですが、日常英会話やニュース、ビジネスプレゼンなど幅広い場面で活躍します。似た表現に、アンドソーンやエトセトラがありますが、ソーンアンドソフォースは、より文として自然に聞こえます。ネイティブらしさを出したい時に取り入れたい表現の一つです。
The Champions League, so on and so forth. Champions League, so on and so forth. Down. I put down Yuri Tielemans. I put down Yuri Tielemans.
フットダウンは英語の中でも特に意味の幅が広い駆動詞で、文脈によって全く違う意味を持つのが特徴です。基本的には何かを下に置くことから派生し、書き記す、支払いをする、抑え込む、など多くの抽象的意味も持ちます。特に注意すべきなのは、批判するや安楽死させるなどネガティブな意味でも使われることです。ネイティブは一つのフレーズで様々な意味を込めて使うので、単語の直訳に頼らず文脈で判断する力がとても大切です。
Down. I put down Yuri Tielemans. I put down Yuri Tielemans. Down. I put down Yuri Tielemans. I put down Yuri Tielemans.
He is best when he's marauding forward.
マラウドは、やや古風な響きのある動詞で、歴史ドラマや文学作品、ニュース報道などでよく見かけます。意味としては、略奪する。荒らし回るで、盗賊や軍隊が食料や金品を狙って無秩序に攻撃するようなイメージです。日常会話ではあまり使われませんが、形容詞の形で、スポーツや比喩的な文脈で用いられることが多いため、英語力を高めたい中級から上級者には覚えておいて損のない単語です。発音は、マラウドのような感じで、リズムも良く、文学的表現や歴史的な語りにも使われます。
He is best when he's marauding forward. He is best when he's marauding forward.
いかがでしたか？三笘薫の名前を出した瞬間に、3人ともに賛成、といった感じが、誰も疑いのない、間違いない遺跡だと言わんばかりではないでしょうか。28歳という年齢だけが、唯一問題になりそうですが、今の年齢でも間違いない補強だ、という感じですね。実際にもちろんもう一つ問題になるのは、すでにいるプレイヤーであり、アーセナルではマルティネッリとトロサールがいることで、どちらかを放出するという話になるのか、そのあたりの話次第になってくるのではないでしょうか。さらに以前の動画でも話しているような、三笘を獲得するのが、2番手3番手の優先順位であれば、他のプレイヤーの移籍状況にもよるのでしょう。いずれにしても、どのビッグクラブに行ってもおかしくなく、どのチームのファンでも歓迎されそうな雰囲気ですが、実際にどのチームへ行くのか、楽しみで仕方ありませんので、また細かく追っていきたいと思います。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。